Commissioners meeting, Tuesday, 20 January 2015 at 10:01. Commissioner, I'm sorry, I did not catch the time. I do. 10:01 a.m. I would ask that you rise for a silent prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. And the flag is to your left. Would you please turn and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairman Zapotowski was
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. At this time, we have proclamations. If you would allow me the latitude of proceeding in accordance to the agenda, I would appreciate that. Proclamations and awards and recognitions. Commissioner, you want to?
I'm just making sure I sign it.
Okay, the first item up is in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Day, January 20th, 2015. Is there any representatives? Without seeing any representatives, I will read the act. I know there is a function going on, I believe, at Penn State. Is that not correct, Kathy?
Yes.
That conflicted with this time. Whereas the late Dr. Martin Luther King distinguished himself in advancing human rights and dignity for all people. And Dr. King Jr.'s 1964 I Have a Dream speech will long be remembered as both a vision and a goal for the United States and the world. And Dr. King was awarded the 1954 Nobel Peace Prize. And the United States government has declared Tuesday, January 20th, 2015, as the national holiday to celebrate the birth of Dr. King, and it is intended, fitting, proper for the citizens of Fayette County to honor the late Dr. King. Therefore, we, the Fayette County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim and recognize January 20th, 2015, as Dr. Martin Luther King Day, Jr. in Fayette County, and call upon all citizens to join in the official observation. The next one is a proclamation, and it's a proclamation, Great American Tobacco Spit Out. Is there any representatives from the Great American Tobacco Spit Out? I will yield. Would you like to read that, Commissioner?
Whereas the rate of spit tobacco usage reported by Fayette County high school students, 17%, Pennsylvania Youth Survey 2011, is higher than the statewide average of 11.5% of the Pennsylvania Youth Survey of 2011. And whereas people who consume 8 to 10 dips or chews per day receive the same amount of nicotine as a heavy smoker who smoked 30 to 40 cigarettes a day. And whereas spit tobacco users are up to 50 times more likely to get oral cancer than non-users. And whereas spit tobacco increases a person's risk of cancer of the lip, tongue, cheeks, gum, floor and roof of the mouth, throat, larynx, esophagus. And we, the Fayette County Commissioners, declare February 15th through February 21st, 2015 as through with Chew Week, and Thursday, February 19th, 2015 as the day of the General or the Great American Spit Out. And in doing so, urge citizens to make publicly known the dangers of spit tobacco, and do also urge spit tobacco users to demonstrate to themselves, their friends, and their families that they can quit for the day of the Great American Spit Out.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, Commissioner Zimmerly.
Is there anyone here regarding the Fayette County School Choice Week? Whereas, as all children in Fayette County should have access to the highest quality education possible, and whereas Fayette County recognizes the important role that an effective education plays in preparing all students in Fayette County to be successful adults, whereas quality education is critically important to the economic vitality of Fayette County. Fayette County is a home to a multitude of high-quality traditional public schools, public magnet schools, public charter schools, and non-public schools from which parents can choose for their children. Whereas education variety not only helps to diversify our economy, but also enhances the vibrancy of our community. Whereas Fayette County has many high-quality teaching professionals in traditional public schools, public magnet schools, public charter schools, and non-public schools who are committed to educating our children. Whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, and organizations to raise awareness of the need for effective educational options that challenge and motivate all of our students to succeed. Therefore, the Commissioners of Fayette County do hereby proclaim January 25th through January 31st, 2015 as Fayette County School Choice Week, and we call this observance to the attention of all of our citizens.
Thank you, Commissioner. For the last recognition, I know he's present because I saw him walking in, is a Community Recognition Award, and it is being given to Vincent Weaver III. Is there somebody representing the organization? Yes. Please, Joe. Vincent?
And you want to join me?
Sure.
Amy's the nominee. She nominated him.
Amy, you want to tell us a little bit about what happened here?
With the Fayette County Behavioral Health Administration, their advisory board, they were looking for representatives to be nominated for Community's Recognition Award. Goodwill has worked with Vinnie Weaver very closely for several years. We have used his site at Vinnie's Hair Salon to do community-based assessments, and Vinnie has also hired a few individuals who have come through various programs that we have. In addition to that, Vinnie serves on our advisory board here in Fayette County, and he also serves on the advisory board for our Goodwill Clubhouse. So this is why we nominated Vinnie, and we were glad that he was chosen.
And it was a well-deserved choice.
Thank you.
So, yes.
Well, I'd just like to say on behalf of the Behavioral Health Board, what a pleasure it is to meet Vinnie and to realize that we have people in our community that go above and beyond to help our fellow citizens in the county. I'd also like to let folks know what a great behavioral health organization we have in Fayette County. There's some really great employees who work very hard, and I want to thank the commissioners for supporting that effort so that we can do events such as this to help the community.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
You want to
much.
say anything?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, thank you for the opportunity to recognize me. But just to be in a position to be able to bring people in to my business who have had some sort of difficulty, usually with drugs and alcohol, which our community is being decimated by drugs and alcohol, whether you guys realize it or not. I'm sure you do. You read the paper. These people have come back into the community, given a second chance. They have gotten their children back. They have bought cars. They have bought homes. They pay taxes. They are contributing members of society today. Thanks to programs that Goodwill puts on in our county. People need to take a look at what we do have going on in our county that is positive, and there's some fantastic things going on, and we need the continued support of everybody in the community. So if you can help somebody, give them a hand. That's all it takes. You get one of these.
Now we see why Vinny got the award. You see how motivated he is?
Thank you. Amy, anybody?
Now, may I ask if this meeting was
Ms.
advertised?
Olmsted, you've been very patient, and I would like to thank you for your patience. You may rise.
Thank you, sir. Honor. I would just
No,
I know. If this meeting was advertised, I look at the legals every day, and I'm just wondering if it was advertised. I didn't see it, and I talked to the legal department at the Herald yesterday, and they have nothing for 2015 commissioners meeting. They have several for other county business, but no commissioners meeting. And the ad that was placed on May 28th, 2014 by the chief clerk ran through December 16th. So if I hadn't noticed this meeting would proceed, and you may vote on stuff, and because it wasn't advertised, it would be void. So I want to know who's responsible for not putting that ad in, and if you were aware that the ad is not in the legal section.
I was not aware that the ad was not in the legal section. I do.
So we're all here for nothing, basically now, correct? This meeting can't proceed?
Was the meeting advertised?
I did not advertise.
Well, it's your
The
job.
meeting is-
It's your job. We all
Mr.
came
Cup,
here.
The meeting has not been duly
God.
advertised. Maybe it's the restroom, so when you guys banter about that,
That happened last year. We all came. Didn't advertise it.
Yeah, we had to go home.
Yeah.
We had to go
Second
home.
time. This is ridiculous.
I sent
Either
it.
you fill the job or you don't.
Well, let's hold on a second. First off, okay, the chief clerk said that it was not advertised at the beginning of the year. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. A meeting was advertised to hold our January 5th salary board meeting, right? Was that advertised? Yes. Okay. So we held our meeting on January 5th, right?
I thought it was the first.
Okay.
With the first.
The first Monday of the month, that was advertised, what, like January 2nd or something, prior to the meeting. And then we held a special meeting to do board appointments. That was advertised, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know you sent an email last week asking all of us about May and November's meeting if we wanted to have a change of venue because this room might be taken, which that's May and November.
No, it was for all the meetings of 2015, so a legal notice can be run, is what my email says.
Okay, well, was it not run at the beginning of the year? When did you send that email?
Last Tuesday.
Which would have been the day we held our agenda meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so we held our agenda meeting and that meeting wasn't advertised either?
The agenda meeting is on.
Why not?
All right,
This
well,
is crazy.
then, and when was the agenda meeting, the 13th? Today's what, the 20th? Okay, so the agenda meeting was the 13th. So the meeting should be advertised at the beginning of the year. Okay,
Yeah, that's why I sent the email asking for, so I could advertise the meetings for the year. I got no response
Oh,
from the whole one.
well, you just said that you sent that January 13th. That was the day of our meeting, right?
The day of the agenda.
Ms.
Well,
Rebecca,
that's still public meeting.
It's ridiculous. That's
Okay, so
ridiculous.
Please.
if I may ask one question, we had a meeting several weeks ago, it was in the year 2014, and you did not advertise, thus we were not able to have the meeting. Your comment to me was, I wasn't told to advertise. I said, Amy, that's a part of your job.
I don't recall
If
that.
we have to, I have email documentation to support
I
it.
don't recall that.
And I don't like email, and you know it. documentation to support it. I said, if we have to tell you everything we need to be done, then what's the use of you being here? But I will research that email, and I'll provide copies to all the commissioners as well as the solicitors and the chief clerk. This is an embarrassment.
Well, let's find out for sure, okay? John Cup?
I can't find the section sitting here, looking in this book, that that's the rule. You have to advertise the meetings. You can advertise them for a year in advance.
Right.
And you have to put the ad in the newspaper and the legal term. And that's.
It ended
And
December
I
16th.
think that's what, back in May, when we had a change of venue, if you change, now you had said, and we know this, that if you just change the venue and it's on the same day and time, the only thing you need to do is put a note on the door in a conspicuous place so that people will know that it's a change of venue, if it's the same day and time. Okay. If it's a different date and or time than previously advertised, then you have to advertise it as a change.
And post it.
Yeah, always post it. Okay, so at the beginning of every year, and that's, I believe, I know that's the legal opinion and confirmation of what the rules are that you did in May, that you sent to everyone, put it in the newspaper, and you have to do it at the beginning of every year. Right? Okay. All right. So it wasn't done, so therefore we cannot hold the meeting. So what we will have to do is
Put an ad in and do it again. Yeah.
Well, I wish
we'll have to, and to, that has to be done at the beginning of the year, not on January 13th when we just held a meeting. Okay, it can't be done after the fact. It has to be done at the beginning of the year. So what we can do is circulate the date to have a meeting for this week. If we do have important issues to be voted on, so we will circulate, please, Chief Clerk, for this week. We placed the ad today by noon, and it can be in the paper. Okay, today's Tuesday, so if we place it by noon today, it should be able to be in the paper tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So the earliest we can hold a meeting would be Thursday or Friday. Oh, that's right. It'll be advertised on Wednesday. Okay, so the earliest that we can hold the meeting would be Friday.
You're safe.
Yeah. I know you guys can't hear. The question was, why can't it be on Thursday from the chief clerk? John Cup said, when does the paper hit? In the morning. Point is, the whole idea of having a public notice is to allow the public an opportunity to read the paper so they know. And there may be some people who don't read the paper until afternoon, evening, whatever. So the earliest that we could hold the meeting would be Friday at 10. Well, we have to check. Oh no, I have to check my schedule for Friday at 10. You can take, if there's members who want to say anything, members of the public.
I don't know.
I mean, this, just so you know, this is not a public meeting. It's not going to have any minutes, but if there's any.
I don't know my schedule for Friday. We'd have to check on that before confirming. No, we'll confirm on that.
Yeah, we'll confirm.
Amy, I am good on Friday.
I'll have to confirm once I get back to my office. So,
I got a question. I have a question. What is going to be the consequences of this? I mean, we all went out this morning and came here, and now you're telling us we have to go home. There has to be consequences, and I would like to know what the consequences are going to be, and I think everybody here wants to know.
Mrs. Mazza, I could tell you that those consequences will be personnel related. Our personnel director is not here, so it would be premature to address any of those at this time.
But there will be consequences.
It's premature to address any of those consequences at this time.
No, I don't want you to tell me what the consequences. I just want assured that there will be some sort of consequences.
The matter will be addressed.
When, Commissioner Kowski, this meeting was given notice to the public through the newspaper, through the press, following your agenda meeting. Everyone read that article. Everybody's here. And I believe that, could that not serve?
No, that's an agenda meeting.
The solicitor will address that.
There's a court case that says that's not adequate notice.
Okay, you got the answer. It's not adequate legal notice.
But you know, Mrs. Cindy Reback, okay, she's been overwhelmed. I know that she's been overwhelmed with jobs to do, okay? And she just made a simple human mistake.
Hold on a second. No one's going to discuss. No one here is going to discuss a personnel matter. The issue before us is whether or not the commissioners, as an entity, can hold a meeting. Okay, mistake, no mistake, overwork, not overwork, regardless of any of that. The point is that the law says we cannot hold this meeting. Okay, so that's what we're going to address. We can't hold the meeting, so we'll reschedule it.
I was not here at all the other meetings. Can we speak off the record then?
You are off the record, Mr. President.
So can I go a little bit further and speak off the record? Because I haven't been attending these meetings for several months, okay? And I would like, since you all three are together, I'd like to make a comment, because I have other things to do when this meeting is held, okay? And I'm not running for commissioner or anything. It's not about politics. I just want to make a comment to all three of you, since all three of you are together. Is that okay? All right. What I want to tell you is this. I want to tell you two things, Mr. Shepardowski.
Yes, sir.
And the other two commissioners. And I want to tell this audience here, in my opinion, Mr. Abberzini has huge foresight. Okay?
This isn't a campaign matter.
We're not.
No campaign, Sheriff.
What I want to suggest
Plug out.
Stump or soapbox. This meeting is not a valid meeting. I have other things on my schedule, and if anybody has anything germane, ma'am, I see you have something that I think might have some relative importance.
And please, public, please don't go back and forth with other members of the public, okay?
Yeah, this is not a matter of he said, she said, he's great, she's not great, I'm not great.
Let's just move on.
What would you like to comment about, ma'am?
I came today because I'm an administrator of Rest Haven Personal Care Home. Worked there for 14 years. When I first started, we took over from taking in elderly to taking in mental health, behavioral health, protective service, homeless, pretty much. We've pretty well switched our homes over to the mental health enhanced homes. However, mental health has, of course, changed since 14 years now. They no longer have the CHIPS program that had mobile psych that could come and help me in an emergency or to give on-site treatment for anybody. All my options are right now for me to tell my girls to call crisis. Problem with crisis is, if I have a violent resident, they're not coming. If they tell me to call the police aren't going to arrest a psych patient.
Again,
I know this is not going to be on meetings, and I don't expect. That's
you
not why I came.
You might want to comment on that very quickly. The CHIPS program is a state program. It's administered by the Commonwealth and has very little to do with the county.
I don't
contact our office.
Yeah, Bob will give you his name and number, and you can contact him. Anybody else that has any further comment?
I'd say
Mr.
one,
Johns?
please.
Hey, Bob, if you want to make sure you follow up on that for the courtesy of the constituent, I'd appreciate that.
I just have a very quick comment, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this. In previous commissioners' meetings, Commissioner Eversini made a statement that he was no longer having these working groups, prison working groups.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
One last one, he was gonna have to thank them.
That's correct.
Okay,
Months
that's
ago.
what I thought.
Long
I just
time
want to
ago.
make sure, because last Friday I was waiting to attend one of those meetings. I was in the office from 9:30 in the morning until 10:40, until I had to leave, take care of some personal business, and I didn't get to attend your prison working group meeting that you're no longer having. Okay, and I was quite upset about that. And I found out later on from a reporter that who called a friend of mine who called me and said that you did have it in your office with your doors closed, which you had done before.
And the doors are closed, and that's a fact.
Okay, so and also, if I remember right, I read in the paper an article concerning something else where you mentioned that you're having these still having these meetings. I seem to recall that over the last few days. So if I'm wrong on that, someone correct me. But so what's the deal? You still having these prison working group meetings? And if the answer is yes, why aren't they open to the public?
To my understanding,
They were always open to the press.
Oh.
And, I asked early on for volunteers, not only from the county, but I asked for volunteers from the private sector.
well, can't they still volunteer?
I wanted to sit in on meetings, see what, just to get an idea of what it is you're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
I mean, you can sit in on any meeting.
Yeah, but I was.
Then why didn't you let him in? If it's an open meeting, why wasn't he permitted to come in and attend the meeting?
The meeting had already started.
That doesn't matter.
I thought he was coming in to see me, not sit in on the meeting.
Did you ask him what he wanted?
I was in a meeting.
So the bottom line is you're still holding
What
these
we were
meetings
talking
after
about-
which
what-
you said that you're not having them anymore.
Sir, what we were talking about in the meeting, we were just putting together staffing details. I mean, if you want to be bored to death with that, that's fine.
I'd like to be bored to death on one question. Where are we staffing
What's the
these
staff for?
board details when we don't have a place to put staffing at?
The jail is already designed.
The property is not. The property was thrown out by Judge Over.
That's fine.
We're going to staff people.
We can put it any place we want.
Who's we?
Oh,
Who's we?
who's we?
Yeah, who's we?
Well,
You?
Anybody that is concerned about the county.
Oh, yeah, you and your
I think
pals.
the we has already decided no.
Well, the we could be next year.
No, it's starting already. It's already started now. It's going to start.
Aren't there plans in the works for a
folks,
prison?
I know I lost support from this, and that's unfortunate because it's costing you, the taxpayers, $200,000 every month.
No, it isn't.
That
It's
way.
only, you're lying
True.
again. It's not
There's no
200 a
truth to that
month.
statement
It's
whatsoever. None.
60.
Zero.
All you
It
have
costs more to house a prisoner in county than it does out of county. Did you know that? It negates the complete cost.
And then
That's not,
It is
Joe,
absolutely
that's
true.
not, that's
And
not.
the need
If I
study
budgeted
addressed.
prison by the number of inmates in
Joe,
there,
Mr. Schiffbar, excuse me, sir.
Why don't we
The
refer to
need
everybody?
study already addressed the staffing.
Mm-hmm.
And if he knows the answers of the results of an election, I forgot my Powerball ticket.
Yeah.
I want that. And give me those numbers, and maybe I can retire early.
I don't have to have a crystal ball.
You have more in Crystal.
Because all I have to do is go back and look at the past history over the last 2 and 3 terms respectively, and determine that nothing is gonna get done on this jail project because nothing has been done.
Oh, it's moving along quite,
And if
it's
nothing
moving.
has been done on the jail project,
Why don't you just
then
quit?
go back.
You don't
to
need the
the
money.
I'm talking, please. If nothing has been done in the, on the jail, then you can go back to the prison board at the time, who unanimously voted to take other action, okay? Unanimously voted. Pull the prison board minutes, read where Commissioner Zimmerlink said, let's address the overcrowding issue, and then read the comments of the then prison board members. As far as having a prison working group, I can address that, Mr. Jones.
When was
that morning, there was an email sent out by the assistant of Al Ambrosini, which is Mary Schroyer, sent it to the entire prison work group members, the 2 reporters, and it included Sabatowski and Zimmerman. And it said, reminder, there will be a prison board working group meeting at 9 o'clock.
Which is in clear violation of the Sunshine Act.
If more than 2 commissioners, right. And you know as well as I do that Commissioner Ambrosini has said that the public is invited to attend. We all heard that various times. He just said that he invited the press, which isn't a lie or false, because he does invite the press. But what he failed to say is that he has said it's also open to the public, okay? So that was sent out at 9 o'clock. We all know that prison board meetings are the second Friday of the month. How he said that he said that he was in a meeting. I don't know, who you spoke with as far as to see if you were permitted to go in. Do you know, who did you speak with? When you got there, you were there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was out in your lobby area.
Okay,
yes.
you made it
It
apparently
was known that I was there for that.
For that particular, okay. And then how did you know that you weren't allowed to go back?
I wasn't invited back there.
Okay.
And I found out later that it was in his with the doors closed.
Okay.
So you were denied access?
Yes.
Okay. And what I read was that they were discussing staffing needs. There was a resolution that was passed to pay for not to exceed $25,000, or it was either 25 or 28. Okay, and it was passed for Crabtree and Slater to do the prison needs study. Turned out to be $30,000, even though the resolution said that would be a firm price. Okay, and in there, that section, which anyone can get a copy of, it has a section about staffing needs. So, I mean, and that prison needs study was used to address how the new jail would be built. So, and if he wants to have a meeting, he can have as many meetings as he wants. Can't do anything about that. I'm glad he's having meetings, and I wish he would publicly, share his information and have a conversation so we could have deliberation and discussion, because that's what we're supposed to do. But if he chose not to allow you to come back, that's something that the public and you'll have to address, because Commissioner Zabatowski and myself have no control over that part. Okay.
Our meetings are open to the public.
Our meetings were advertised.
And legally advertised and are open to the public.
Which is on the second Tuesday at
10 a.m.
No, 2.
2, and then the
third, fourth at 10, as needed. And we don't have them if they're not needed. Okay, so you can always call it, as we said before, you can call the commissioners, you can always call me, or you can call one of, Kathy or someone, and ask that morning if we're going to have one. Okay?
Will do.
Thank you.
More than welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, clarify something for me, Commissioner Zimmerlin.
Excuse me.
First of all, if there was a real intent to solve this prison problem, then why didn't you accept my invitation in July of 2012 to become part of this team?
I will repeat myself yet again. Okay, and I will also tell you to, again, check with solicitors. And again, you can even read the legal opinion of the P&A attorney, that when you have those types of meetings where 2 or more commissioners sit in a room, discuss and deliberate for the purpose of a vote in the future, that it must be a legally advertised meeting. I don't make up the rule, I just follow the rule. And it had, and Commissioner Lambertson, let me finish answering the question.
Sure.
Okay. If you really wanted more than 1 commissioner in the room, and we have told you time and time again, put an ad that we cannot attend because of that, then why didn't you just simply place the ad? You didn't place the ad because you didn't want us in the room, and that's the reason, you know.
Well, let's go back and let's investigate the fact that how long does it take to respond to an invitation to be part of a group? The prison working group. I didn't make any. I didn't say how the meetings were going to be conducted between July and November. We didn't have the first meeting until November. There's about 4 months that there was silence.
There was no silence.
There
was no silence. There was no silence.
I don't have one piece
As
You
chairman
don't
of
have
this
no, hold on 1 second. I'm going to answer this
non-meeting,
question. Okay. I'll explain this. This is not a commissioners meeting.
I know, I was just having some levity, that's all.
But you know, as a public official, certainly you should know what the rules and regulations are. So my job is not to educate you in your role as a commissioner, not to tell you what is a meeting, what constitutes a meeting. That's your job as a commissioner. You could have attended if you didn't. Any of those work sessions that the local academy group or the CCAP provides.
Or the
you also, or the P&A, or ask any one of the 3 solicitors. And since actually 4 solicitors, because at the time Joe Ferrens was still with us, and you had Cup and you had Hyde, and then you also had Ken Berkeley. So there was 4 plus P&A attorney plus really Commissioner Ambrosini. You know that when you were running for election, what you had said to me in the presence of others, that shenanigans and things of that nature would not occur once you got into office.
And if I may ask a question, can I ask a question, Ms. Amazin?
Sure.
Please, Ms. Yager, you're a member of the Herald Standard. The P&A attorney ruled that it was a violation of the Sunshine Act, did she not?
She did.
Thank you very much.
So all you had to do was place an ad.
It was discussed at previous commissioners' meeting about these meetings not being advertised. And Mr. Ambrosini, you were told that the other 2 commissioners could not attend because they would break the Sunshine Law. And you know very well, it was brought up 3 or 4 times at different meetings that these work sessions that you call work sessions needed to be advertised in order for the other 2 commissioners to attend.
First of all, informational meetings don't need to be advertised. And let me ask this question. Just recently, I sat in on at least 2 meetings with Astorino with 2 other commissioners, and they weren't advertised. Is that in violation of the Sunshine Law?
We have, right? Maybe you should go take a course. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems like the rules change.
No, it's not the rules that change. It's what the purpose of the meeting is. Okay.
It was a timeline, it was informational, it discussed matters of priorities.
The resolution was passed. The resolution was passed to have them there, okay, to hire them. And also, what the purpose of that meeting was, and you know what the purpose was.
It wasn't
okay,
advertised.
To timeline. Again, you should check to see what the law is. And go from there. And if you
it wasn't advertised.
File another ethics.
3 commissioners were in this meeting
Were we voting on something? Was there an intent to vote? That's the key. If you don't know, it's a formal.
There was direction given to Astorino.
There was never any intent to vote.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, there was no intent to
Okay.
vote.
I got anything
Yes,
else?
you may,
Yeah,
Mrs.
anything else?
Mazza.
Okay. I read in the Herald, Mr. Ambrosini's great plans. Evidently, Mr. Ambrosini, you're going to build your prison, right? Irregardless of what Judge
If
Over
common
said.
sense prevails, yes, it will be built.
Okay, I have a couple questions. Where are you going to put this prison?
It doesn't matter, as long as we have.
Well, you have to have a piece of land to put the building on. You can't stick it up in the air.
If I had some support, it would have been built.
I heard you say that Fayette is selling the property for an astronomical amount of money to a new buyer.
He said, Commissioner Ambrosini said if we had support and put the other
support
judge.
Mr. Ambrosini, did not Judge Over tell you, or say in his ruling, that you overstepped your bounds? The zoning board was out of line and giving you the variances for that prison, and the prison could not go on that property. Isn't that what he said?
Those things could have been easily taken care of by commissioner's vote.
Tell her how, Al. Tell her
How are you going to do that?
Mrs. Mazza, let me explain this to you. We would have, currently our zoning requires that we have 150 acres to build a correctional facility. We would have had to amend that agenda to reduce that down. It would have required a planning commission meeting. It would have required an appearance before the board of commissioners at that planning commission meeting. Then subsequently, it would have required a vote by the member of the board of commission.
It would have
taken a unanimous vote.
No.
And any time during that vote, there could have been intervention or an objection filed.
There would have been.
It wouldn't have taken.
Well,
It would not have taken an unanimous.
No, it's a majority.
It would have taken a majority, and that would have been to rezone.
I don't care about the state of Pennsylvania, Mr. Ambrosini. I care about Fayette County. The GEO report. Did you read the GEO report that you hid from the public for 6 months?
I did not hide it.
Oh, you did hide it. You kept it.
We put the draft on the website, and the very day that the final version came out, the official version came out, it was on the website.
Was it done?
Okay, what did the GEO report say?
Was it done?
About
The
prison
geotechnical report
What did it say?
indicated that it gave a engineering solution to building a foundation
Which
for that
was
facility.
what?
Was it done randomly or was it done by grid?
He doesn't know.
It was done random.
It was done according to the standards of the engineering standards.
Which is random.
It was done by the standards.
It wasn't
If
done
it
by
was done
the
the
GEO
engineering
report
standards,
say
It
you
wasn't
could
done
put a
by
prison
grid
there
because
without-
grid would have told you where the heaviest concentrations of pyrite was, and the heaviest concentration of cost would occur as soon as you'd have put a shovel on the ground.
Maybe the Herald Standards should have taken their own engineer and had that checked out when we asked them to before.
Just like the
Instead of presenting
fairgrounds
us
to
here.
make sure they had sewage in it.
Also, what about the second floor? Why was that? Why did you never mention that there was a second floor to that?
It's a mezzanine.
There's only a mezzanine floor on the housing units itself, Joe. Everything else is a single floor. There's no elevators in this building.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, it's done, let's move on by that property, it's
There has to
over.
be there has to be elevators on a second floor in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act.
There doesn't. You know, the housing units don't have. You could put the
He's
you
still-
could put the
he's
on
out of
the
it.
first floor.
But you know what, I have to, again, Judge Over ruled, well.
That's funny,
it's
isn't
not
it?
It
funny.
is funny.
Smart.
It
Yeah,
is
a
funny.
judge
Yeah.
overruled you.
Because the
Yeah.
fact of the matter
Oh,
is, you know,
you're gone.
those could have been handled
You're gone.
by the commissioners, and and the support was lost. You know, this is really.
You're campaigning now. You're talking at a meeting. It's no private meeting with
really
press.
Political.
No
It is
private
political.
meeting.
How about the
Yeah.
promising the prison guards union more staffing when you're going to tell us that we need less staffing because it's more efficient?
It's direct supervision.
Come on.
The
Be straight about something.
The staffing will not reduce simply because we're going to have more inmates in the facility.
I
But
thought we were
it
gonna
will be
stop
more
right there.
efficient because of that fact.
Why are we going to have more inmates?
Yeah, why are we gonna have?
I'm not
Well,
clear
we're
about that.
going to bring the inmates back that we have over 7 facilities throughout the western Pennsylvania right now.
Which we all know was at times should not have
So
been
about
transported.
57.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
should not have been transported.
In at times we've had up to 112.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Million to
Times,
billion a
times
month.
we've had
Where's
8.
Mr. Ambersini, where are you gonna get the money to build your prison? I'd like to know, what's your source of money to build your prison?
It would be just like anybody that's going to buy a house. You borrow the money, but here's the
Wait a
good
minute,
part.
how are you gonna borrow money?
You're not going to do anything because
You're one
it's a
commissioner,
dead
you
issue.
can't do
It's
anything.
dead. You're not having a prison.
Right.
Nobody wants it in this county. The only supporter you have is the Herald Standard.
Right.
Nobody
Amen.
wants it. Nobody.
Amen.
Get it into your head. Nobody wants it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
You want to spend
I can scream all day long. It's not going to happen, Al. It's not going to happen.
It's cheaper than $100
Well, then
million.
the taxpayers are going to pay for it then.
No one's paying for anything, Al.
You wasted $2 million of our dollars.
Pay attention, Joe.
Is there any additional, one
Yes,
more
I
thing?
do.
Okay,
This is
that's-
Madison. Are you finished? I would never want to interrupt.
I guess, I
No,
can't get, no.
I'm not going to interrupt you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
You keep.
No, I have a lot of questions for Mr. Ambersini. Obviously, you already have yourself
It makes
elected for a second term.
Yeah, it makes
But
him look
believe
good.
me, Al, it's not gonna happen. You are
What's
out.
the plan? What's the plan here?
Oh, perfect
Okay.
timing. Perfect
Yeah,
timing.
what's the
with it.
plan? What is their plan? How much
It's a
money are they
building
gonna
that we've not even
Who
contemplated.
told him to film that?
say?
You.
Not
We
contemplated?
You
contemplated
got him to do
about
that.
that being a possibility, if in fact we ever needed the possibility. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
put
glad
that
you
down.
said-
Put
It's
it
a gem
down.
of a building.
You got you got the gem of a newspaper. So
Yeah.
I'll bid you all. Well, Mr. Chris,
Yeah, how much
I'll
to
be-
pay
I'll
him
be
to do it?
And I want to start with what you said, Commissioner Zapkowski. You said the meeting being canceled is an embarrassment. You know something? It's more than an embarrassment. It is inexcusable. It really is. I can't think of an excuse why a highly paid department head or county employee can't do such a small task as important as this one. Now, what it created was a lot of professionals come here today and our citizens, and maybe some took off of work. For something that mundane to be overlooked and for all of us to gather here to be nothing over that, it really is sad. This isn't somebody's first day at school or on the job training. We're all adults here, and this really is sad. And I'll drop it at that, okay? I don't know how you could say it any other way. It's a sad deal, and it is embarrassing. On further note, even though it's not a legit meeting, I thank you for at least affording us the time to sit here and, you know, we're all here, so you want to hear what we want to hear and say. That's nice of you to do that. Al, I'm going to lead into what you held up that newspaper, and it's astonishing to me because, you know, I said it here in the meeting, where was this story about the pyrite-laden property behind my home or the Iowa Street thought pattern? There was never no private engineer hired or something like this on the front page about that property behind my house. It seems to be a recent pattern for two of you commissioners to be getting stories like this on every move you try to make.
Not two commissioners.
Well, no, I'm saying this is against you and Angela. You know, this to me is really wrong. You're trying to do something positive. For you to have passed
I'm not
on.
sure. Can you tell me what their plan is?
I'm gonna. No, I can't because it's not my plan. But what I want to say, no, it's not my plan. It's not my plan.
Talk to them.
It's not my plan. What I like about it, you would be totally remiss if you two didn't look at a building next to our county
for $1 that could help the situation, I would think terribly upon you for not looking at it, or that you're outright stupid. So I don't care how bad it is. Thank God the story backfired on him, and the guy they hired said he's structurally sound. Amen. I mean, come on. Anything left in neglect is going to decay, but it can be saved. But again, Angela, I think it was your thought on this building to begin with. Thanks.
What else did he say?
Well,
what else did he say?
Why do you keep interrupting me? Can I finish and then you can ask me anything? I think it was smart for you to move on this. You're lucky that the city went for it. $1 is a gift. Good move. Whatever you do with it can help us cheaply. Good for you guys. But again,
the option remains open. It's a available site.
Yeah.
You didn't even buy it.
Available site.
He did say the cost could be prohibitive.
Well,
who cares?
It's an available site.
Oh, stop it. They didn't even own
Well,
it
you
yet.
didn't care when you were building
Yeah,
your
that wasn't
house.
You're
You
shitting
didn't
on it.
care about the money.
but here's the problem. We don't know what the cost even is yet. We don't even know what the cost is. The point being, a $1 building next to the courthouse is a no-brainer. Congratulations for going along with Commissioner Zimmerman and moving forward.
Opposed to a $12 million sewage line that is based on speculative economic development.
Or how about a $275,000 building on Iowa Street you got to put on stilts?
Yeah.
So, to me, it's a brilliant move. $1, it's a no-brainer. Good for you to join her.
I got the buck in my pocket.
Al, for you to argue this, I mean, even if you're not for the whole program, $1 building next to what you own, even a landowner knows not to do that.
That's the problem. You don't understand that.
They can, there's many things.
You don't know that.
No, I'm not privy. Al, you're asking me as a layman to know. I'm not privy to what plans are, what the thoughts are. It's not my job in this community. My thinking as a layman and a taxpayer is, it's a great deal for $1. For a building next to the courthouse, it's a no-brainer. What are you going to do with it? Figure it out. I'm sure it can happen.
What's it a great? How long has that building been vacant?
Doesn't matter. Who
Somebody
cares?
Could buy it for $1. Why don't you buy it for $1?
The city would never sell it to me as a private individual for $1. They know better. They put it out for bid. No, they'd be forced to put it out for bid, and I would buy it for $1 today. Absolutely.
The liability. If I was the mayor, I'd sell it to you today.
Well, you're not the mayor,
But
thank God.
we can debate all day long. It's not the issue. It's a wonderful opportunity for both city and county to do the right thing, and for our court or penal or justice system, whichever way you want to try to utilize it, it's got everything going for it and no negatives.
You have to at least explore an option.
What I don't like today was this kind of stuff. You're trying to do something right, you're trying to throw a roadblock in front of you. This wasn't the subject behind my home.
I'm still having trouble figuring out why hasn't anything been done 12 years ago.
Oh, give it
What's
up.
that got to do with now? Al, you
Campaigning.
spent $2 million of our money, it's gone. You mean
No,
it's gone.
It's
Oh,
gone.
It's
God.
gone. It's gone.
If we don't build the facility.
And you're not. It's obviously true if you're not.
We don't have the land.
Well, that's not my fault.
Yes, it is. You spent $2 million on drawings. You spent $2 million. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to debate
It's
and
the most
argue.
effective facility
This is
that you're
giving
going to
him
get in this
attention.
town.
He's gonna get. This is gonna.
Now
be
you're
the paper.
getting. I'm appreciative of you two commissioners moving forward. Here's what you need to do. Please, I'm going to buy you both a pair of blinders for the Herald Standard now. Because you need to just take the distraction away from you. Go with what you're doing. Go on the positive. You've got some type of a solution going for you. It's been thought God, just move along. Get rid of it.
Our current problem is we have an overpopulation with our prisons. Should that not be our #1 priority, to address that problem first and foremost? Then start to address the other needs. But first we have to put butts in beds. Then that $600,000 annually won't be going to Bedford County. It won't be going to Greene County. It won't be going whatever other county. That's our first and most priority. And I challenge anybody to disagree with me.
No, I disagree. with
Oh,
that.
of course,
Of
of course.
course you would.
First of all, there's multiple problems. It's just not that we're overcrowded.
This is going to be
And
in the
if you're going
paper.
to plan a facility, why not solve all the problems
Yeah.
during the planning
The
stage?
Jimmy, trust that
taxpayers
with you,
can't
Al.
afford to undertake a $40 million bond, Al.
It's not.
They
it's not
can't
a $42
undertake
million.
it.
It's not a $42 million.
Oh, it's
This
39.
Hopkins put this summed it up better than I've ever heard in a time. If you lived in a dream world, Al, and everything was perfect and our economy was flourishing and we were all doing well, I think your idea is acceptable. He told us all that. We live in the poor Fayette County. We have no dough. Your idea is wonderful. We can't support your idea. You just don't understand that fact.
County is poor because
it's politicians like you that have spent our money.
No, we're wasting money. We're wasting money.
Oh, God.
Not solving the problem.
And that money would help people with food.
Now,
shelter.
it's no different than a school building. It's been proven. You can build a Taj Mahal jail and put cheap teachers in it and get no results. Or you can teach kids in prefab trailers with the right teachers and big dollars and produce results. It doesn't mean the building means nothing. It's the people involved now. It's the people involved, not a building, for God's sake. Come on. Poor leadership is what your problem is in Fayette County. Poor leadership. You, the warden on down, is poor leadership. As Bill Jones says, produces piss poor results. Bottom line now, there's no accountability in that courthouse.
I'm glad that 5 minutes ago you admitted that you didn't know what you were talking about.
I know enough of what's happened though. Al, I can't read the future, but I sure have witnessed the past in this county. And it's we've all witnessed it. And we're all the worst for our decisions on political choices in this county. On some of them. You being one of them.
No.
Absolutely.
Number one.
Al, the community has spoken, a judge has spoken, and your fellow commissioner has spoken.
And he laughs at the
Here's
judge.
the last thing I want to say. I understand you emailed your entire prison working group to attend your meeting. Is that true?
I reminded them, but.
No. Did you send an email out to your general prison working group?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You told us again, Jones brought this up, I know you said this stuff, you're going to have under consideration their time and effort spent, one more meeting,
Yep.
We all understood that. All of a sudden now you call
You
another.
didn't understand that.
Only one person shows up. Two.
You didn't understand it. You were complaining that I was going to have.
Let him finish.
It's what
Why are you talking so much today?
Yeah, you're not.
I'm only understanding what I read, Al, what I see, and you keep trying to break my train of thought, which you did in this case, unfortunately. The only person who shows up in general in your prison working group, your volunteer group, is the warden, who just comes off of suspension, right? The warden and a reporter. Nobody else on that volunteer group. Killinger said his job is done. Al, and now you come up with the answer. You're going to discuss staffing problems. And staffing problems for a jail that's not going to be built. Why would you invite everybody if you just need to address staffing issues? What does your entire prison working group need to be invited for?
They had the opportunity to listen in on the staffing issues if they wanted to.
Then why did Mr. Jones? Why would he be, if the rest of our volunteers from the community, citizens, Joe Blow citizen, how come Mr. Jones can't come in that room?
He can come in.
No,
You didn't let him.
He says he was not, a citizen was denied access. Your volunteer group is okay for something that's never going to be built, but Mr. Citizen can't come in here to listen. Here's what I think. Here's the warden.
I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Warden comes off suspension, comes to your
Laughing
office.
by yourself,
You
idiot.
are wasting county employees' time on your own dream. That's the problem I'm beginning to have.
Yeah.
A volunteer coming to that meeting that day,
What
that's his right and privilege. But when you grab employees for the Dream Project, only one fell for your trap, unfortunately. The warden can just come off a suspension. You shouldn't be having them no more, Al. Have them at your house. Have them at your house.
I know what your attempt is here, but the fact is that is information that the public needs to know.
Then why would you let the man into the office? What
What the hell does that mean?
I mean, all the public, I'm saying.
We don't need to know about staffing for the jail that isn't going to exist. We don't need to know that information.
Terry, according to you, you don't need to know about any of it.
I want to know everything that concerns my taxpayer dollars and goes to be detrimental to around my house.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're wasting $200,000 every month.
That could be corrected out, and it started to be.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to
not by building $100 million Taj Mahal prison
complex. Call it a $200 million facility. I mean, it keeps going up every time.
Same
You
with
never
your out of
proved the
county
number.
rentals.
You never proved the number.
I think the bottom line here.
The engineering estimate. I'd like to see
Oh,
the plans of building anything for $200 a square foot, which this is. This facility is and will be built eventually for $200 a square foot.
When, Al?
West Virginia.
When are you going to build it?
West Virginia.
Next year.
The bottom line is that
You think you'll be here next year, Al?
It doesn't matter whether I'm here or not. It's if common sense.
Well, you know you won't be here, right?
No, I don't know that.
Looking
Yeah,
at
money talks. Money talks.
Like I
Money
said,
talks.
You talked to the newspaper. You said you were going to be here with 2 new commissioners. That's what you told the newspaper. You're going to be here with 2 new commissioners. And I don't know anybody that's going to vote for you. Nobody.
Well, I want to get let's not get into political discussions.
I think the bottom line is, Mr. Trish, you asked about why a member of the public was not there. And did you get your answer? Why he was refused?
No, not really. I mean, honestly, bottom line is this. You can have all the meetings you want, but if you're going to tell people they're invited, you invite them. You don't tell them at the door, see, I don't want you now, but everybody else can come. I'd be very slighted if I was this man on that story. Totally, Mr. Jones. I'd be very upset about it. It's wrong if it happened that way, and he hasn't given me an answer, has he? No. Al, stop having them. Or have them at home, or have them at Bud Murphy's. Don't have them at the courthouse. Don't involve county employees for something that's a dream only in your world. It's reality in their world and in our world. Your idea is not reality.
Terry, making little cute sound bites of a very important project is not good for the taxpayers. I mean,
I'm not running for nothing, Al. I'm not running for nothing.
I know, but you're providing a disservice.
A disservice to the community? I would like the community to tell me that. Al, I want to see that as real in the newspaper that I'm doing Fayette County a disservice. I'd love to hear that. And if I am, then I will permanently shut my mouth here in this
Nor is it in good faith to meet with members of the press behind closed doors to frame a story that would basically sway your way. And that's all I have to say today.
After the meeting, Al said. After the meeting, Al said. He can't say it here, and a reporter can't ask it here. They need to ask him in their own little cubicle where they can do their own little thing. Thank you for your time, commissioners. I appreciate it.
I'm going to make a comment on that because I was the one who wrote. Of course, there's freedom of press, and I am the one who initiated the letter to the editor because, and if anyone can comprehend what I wrote, which I don't believe was very difficult to understand, the issue was not that you or anybody is not allowed to talk outside of a public meeting. I would invite everyone to reread that letter. I would also invite Mark O'Keefe to reread that letter. But his response, and because I was very specific to say it would be better for Commissioner Ambrosini to discuss and deliberate during the meeting. Why? So we can have an open conversation. Okay? And in the event that a comment is made and it is inaccurate or false, which in this case it was, then because the other party was not here to respond and you weren't a party to any of the pre-October 23rd budget meetings, then I could have responded. No one asked that local firm anything. So I wrote that letter. Now why, and it's totally up to Mark O'Keefe for him to respond. He's allowed, obviously. But I don't have to comment on to the method in which he responded, okay? To bring up things that had nothing to do with what I was saying. What I said is, please, you have 3 elected officials. Let's discuss and deliberate while we're at a public meeting. It gives the opportunity for fellow commissioners to respond. and it also gives the opportunity for the public to understand, okay, and ask questions. But to twist and turn, we all know why that occurred, and what I do is I just move on, which I will move on.
It was
And whatever happens after that, hey, whatever happens, okay? So let's just move on.
You've taken the heat, you've taken the glory like a woman and a very respectable elected official, and I applaud you, Angela.
Although the online headline said, Zimmerlink wants to shut up Ambrosini, if you read what I wrote, and you can comprehend what I wrote, it was very clear. Say it at a public meeting so we can discuss it. That's all. That's basically what it said.
I couldn't agree more. All three of you commissioners, including the press. If I gotta come here today and spend my time to talk, I think the reporters should spend their time and sit here with us and do their thing. You should be able to leave here, go back to that building, and go to work, not with a reporter in tow.
He was not at a meeting with McClure and Wolf, okay, when we met. So for the statement to be made that they could not guarantee numbers, I contacted McClure and Wolf afterwards, okay?
It was
and
in their proposal.
got the information. They don't do their audit. Their proposal is exactly what was proposed by Susquehanna, okay? It mirrored it, okay? My point is that he said that they could not guarantee the results. Well, they're not supposed to guarantee an audit. Z&A, a different company, will do that. Who's supposed to guarantee results? Who are the elected officials? Who works on the budget? Who was hired to work on the budget? Okay, us three, the chief clerk, McClure and Wolf, the controller's office input. We're the responsible individuals. My letter was simply stating that if there's a comment from fellow commissioner who did not partake in the budget process, which you did not after October 23rd, you did not, okay?
I actually did because
you came to one and you sat there the entire time doing this, okay? And you didn't utter a word, and you know you didn't, okay? So that was my point. Can we just move on?
Now, you did have a negative comment about McClure and Wolf and Astorino. It seems like because you don't get your way, they're not your friends, and sorry, and they're no good.
And also to make the comment afterwards about me being political for salary board when we all know political hires.
Let me set.
But again, I'm not going to get sucked into making political statements.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Real quick, one more.
See you Friday.
Maybe Friday. Please don't. We'll have to check our schedules.
I'm just stunned. This is the first meeting that Commissioner Ambrosini has spoken. Usually it's behind closed doors. So I presume that everything he says will be in print tomorrow, and nothing that actually happened here. That's the way it goes. But I have one question. You already addressed it, Commissioner, but my question was, are you, quote, trying to shut up Ambrosini? As the headline of O'Keefe's article.
I believe I just
you
answered
did,
that.
but also, if this meeting were to have gone on today, and you voted on something important, in a couple months, someone could say, hey, it was never advertised. That vote doesn't count, correct?
Correct, and that's why we did not hold the voting meeting today.
Correct. So, am I the only one in this county that noticed there was no legal ad?
Apparently.
Someone doesn't do her job, and it doesn't sink in, like, oh, should I check?
We'll address that.
You know, it's just ridiculous.
Okay, we'll address
Nobody noticed this. And everybody comes and everybody's here and they have to come back again. Okay. Somebody needs some time off like the Lord.
I never realized the ramifications of which he said that future decisions and on and on and on could have been affected by. That's a terrible thought about that.
Yep, especially
it really is. Yep. You know, Mary Beth, congratulations again.
It was a setup.
You did it again.
This was planned. This was planned.
Well, good girl for you to do what you did for the county.
They didn't want anything to happen.
Anyone else? Because this is not a public meeting, but only because, members of the public are here. I didn't want to,
I just want to say, I hope you and Mr. Zabatoski will go full steam ahead, do what you have to do, and if Mr. Ambrosini doesn't want to take part, just ignore him, and you two go ahead and do what's best for the county, and we would appreciate it.
Well,
that's all.
I won't do that to a degree because there were times that I was shut out and ignored. Okay, it's not right. people did elect Commissioner Ambrosini. Okay, whether they regret it now or not, and there are people who still like what he does, and that's fine. And he's there to represent those people. He should have a say, just like Commissioner Zabatowski and myself. Just like when I was shut out for 4 years, regardless of any newspaper editor or other people want to believe it or not, and make a comment that, oh, well, the case didn't move forward. If you understand why the case didn't move forward, then you would understand the whole situation here. The point is this. I am not going to shut out a fellow commissioner. It happened to me, and it's not right to do. That is why I ask that he say his statements here at a public meeting so we can discuss it. He might have something good to say. I might have something good to say. You don't know unless you discuss and deliver. That's not, that's to discuss and deliver.
But Mr. Zimmerlink, it's his decision whether he wants to take part or not. And if he doesn't want to take part, you're not shutting him out. He's making the decision that he doesn't want to cooperate with you.
I certainly know that majority rules, okay?
Right.
You say what you have to say, you put it on record, you do the best you can, and you move on. And at election time, and those people who write for other people can say whatever they want and say, Zimmerlink's the one who's held this county back for 12 years. But because, remember, it's majority rules, okay? So if you're not in the majority, you can't do anything. Right. You could stand there and beat your chest. You could say whatever you want to do. But if majority doesn't, majority.
Let me correct that. In her first term, in her first 4 years, she was the majority. There were 2 Republicans in office that first term.
Well, majority doesn't necessarily mean Republicans out. You're supposed to work across
there are no
Of course I could work with Joe Hardy, but you just said we were in the majority. Commissioner Vasides, Hardy, and I agreed on many things in 2004 in that first term. Check your
You're not Democrat or Republican at that table.
Joe was willing to build a jail.
Yeah, okay.
So
what's that got? Okay, so
why didn't it happen?
So the Republican commissioner and the Democrat commissioner, you said you're pretty sure we'll bring that information, and you find it, rather than me explaining it, you're the one who made the statement. Answer your own question.
He doesn't know how.
Answer your own question. Commissioner Hardy also came to this place here and said he wanted to put $16 million into renovating the courthouse. You know about that? No, you don't know about that.
Well, what's wrong with that? That courthouse does need renovated. I mean, my God.
Let's just go.
A lot of things.
He looks at the paper, the press. Look at the press.
And you have to handle them accordingly. And I wish you would have worked with me. I wish you would have worked with me.
I wish you would have worked with me when I initiated
we do
too. That
we all do
too. In July 12th.
Here we go.
And before you got elected and you saw me out and about and you pulled me aside and said, we're going to do this. Why did
you turned everything into political.
I did.
Yeah.
I turned it into political issues.
Yes.
Can't do it. She gotcha.
If you would have been up,
that's the problem.
Mr. Ambrosini, if you would have been up front with the people and done things the way they should have been done and quit keeping secrets and doing things on your own, things would have been different. You could have been a good commissioner, but you took the wrong road. And you decided
a good commissioner, Mrs. Mazza, but you happen not to recognize that. I've been steadfast.
You and the Herald recognize that. And Timmy.
You can pat yourself on the back all you want now, but you haven't done one iota of good for this county.
Mr. Aberdeen.
Oh, God, here we go.
Mr. Aberdeen, I got a question to ask you. Okay?
Our future sheriff.
Okay?
Our sheriff.
I don't remember. Is Sheriff Gary Brownfield and his deputy Jim Custer still full support of your new present plans? Are they still on your present working group?
Yeah, it was the lease that she had already
yeah, they
sent.
still support it.
They do? What's the difference, Mr. Aberdeen? Everybody here supports Gary Brownfield and Jim Custer. Why are they on you?
Go back to where you live and read a book. Go read a book.
You fully support Gary Brownfield and Jim Custer, and he supports Abercrombie. So what are you picking on the poor guy for?
Oh, that poor guy. Poor.
Can you imagine Abercrombie calling Zimmerling political? All the people in this world. Can you fathom the thought? Oh my.